best bites forever.
What's up everyone? In this video I am making this Greek inspired sandwich. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so and let's rock it out. I'm going to start off here by slicing myself a couple of nice thin slices of onion. And of course these are going to go into water over here. I always do this. I don't always do this. I most of the time do this with my red onions. It just brings it back a little notch so it doesn't overtake everything else on the sandwich. Next, I need some tomato slices. Of course, I've already rinsed this tomato. And I personally like to take the seeds out of the middle. You don't have to if you don't want to. Moving right along, I have a little bit of romaine in this bowl, just enough to go onto my sandwich, and I made a simple vinaigrette to toss it in. So when you make a vinaigrette, you should be mixing it 3-to-1, your fat to your vinegar or whatever your acid is. I pour it along the sides of the bowl and then just kind of toss it around a little bit. So in that vinaigrette, I had 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar, a tablespoon of olive oil, a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and just a tiny pinch of sugar, and that is what I have going on in there, ready to go. Okay, so let's assemble. This is one of those, take home and bake breads that I have right here. So this came out of the oven just a few minutes ago. It's nice and fresh, and I'm just putting a little layer of mayonnaise on it, and not really necessarily to give it, the flavor or whatever, but I'm going to do a really thin layer just because it's going to help protect the bread from getting soggy. That little layer of fat that you put on it protects it a little bit from absorbing a lot of the liquids. So just a tiny little thin layer, little protective layer we have going down. Next, I have some chicken. This is obviously leftover chicken, and this is the oregano and garlic chicken that I made the other day. If you missed that recipe, I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. Like, it's one of the best chickens I think that I've ever roasted, and it just came about because I had all this extra oregano in the refrigerator. But I'm telling you, I have been loving this chicken, and I've made a couple of sandwiches out of the leftover. They're so good. So this has a lot of oregano and garlic flavor. If you're not using this chicken, like if you're not using the leftover from the same recipe, I would definitely add some fresh or dried oregano to this sandwich as well. So here I have a pile of toppings, and we're just going to start layering them on. So the first thing that I'm going to put down are my olives. And I mean, you don't have to do this in any particular order. It's basically the stuff that you would find on a Greek salad, since we are making a Greek salad chicken sandwich, right? So pepperoncinis is very Greek, right? Delicious. I'm going to put some lovely feta cheese. You can put this higher up on the sandwich if you want, but I want it on top of that warm chicken so it kind of settles in and, doesn't get super melty, but it'll kind of hold in there better, I think, if it's hanging out with the warm chicken. And I'm going to put a pretty good little layer. Not too much, because feta is pretty salty, but still a nice little layer. And let's see, what do we want to put on there next? Let's go with some red onions. Red onions just came out of their water. They were in there soaking. And I'm just going to put them going all the way down my little sandwich here. I think perhaps, let's see, how about lettuce next? It's a little bit wet, so I'm kind of keeping its distance away from my bread. You know what I'm saying? It's got that vinaigrette all over it. Alright, so lettuce, stay on there, lettuce. Tomatoes. Oh, I left the seeds in. I don't mean to sound like a baby, and I will eat pretty much anything, but I just do not like tomato seeds. I think that they're kind of bitter and yucky. So my tomatoes, and last but not least, some cucumbers on there. This is going to be so yummy. There it is. It's built. I'm going to cut it, plate it, and eat my lunch. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, go ahead and do so now. Smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Bestbitesforever.com